Now, for those of you who have come waiting to remind me of Ghana's pain, just like Ghana, you've missed your opportunity. Come back tomorrow for that. Today, we are staying CONCACAF, where as the light shines on my face, there's a bit more optimism there. For that, we're here to talk about CONCACAF Nations Leagues and all things. I'm sorry, Billy, JD. Someone's calling you Billy T today, so I don't know what nickname you're on at this point, but Billy T, Billy Diamond, Billy D, whichever it is, welcome. WeMaxit Football. We're here to talk about all things CONCACAF Nations League and a little bit of Gold Cup as well, because we have some qualified teams for the Gold Cup coming in, and we are going to talk about them as we go through. So Billy, JD, Billy T, Billy D, whatever the name may be, how are you doing today?
Well, thanks for having me. Hello everyone. Hope all is well with you and the family. Yes, I think that it was great. I've been watching a few games, and I'm pretty much impressed with a lot of the themes, as what you have said from lower down as well. I am definitely impressed with them, and definitely, obviously, at the top half, I have seen some changes. I'm not gonna say who those teams are, because a lot of people get PTSD when you start talking about teams. But I've seen a lot of changes, and I tend to like what I'm seeing now. And I think that you're going to get some upset very soon.
Oh, is that so? Well, I'm going to enjoy when you tell me who it is, because I know some people are ready to jump down specific areas. So, guys, if you're new to the channel, we normally do Canadian and African content. So if you like that, make sure you leave a like, subscribe, and follow the content as it comes. We're going to talk a little bit about Nations League and as we go, as we do know what our Nations League quarterfinal matchups are. And our matchups are, we have Canada versus Suriname, we have the US versus Jamaica, as we see in the title. We also have I don't want to call them star-crossed lovers, but I feel like they're destined to play forever. Panama versus Costa Rica. And then a low-key fun matchup, Honduras versus Mexico, based off of what Mexico's form has been. We're going to throw out the U.S. game because that game they wake up for at different occasions. But those four matchups are interesting. And I guess for you, I'll ask you right now, we have to rank the matchups. From top to bottom, which ones you're anticipating the most versus which ones you are at maybe not as much, but you're still going to watch. Where would you rank those four matchups?
Well, it's tough, because surprisingly, the most entertaining one, I would say, would come down to Panama, Costa Rica, and Suriname, Canada. I just believe that the home game for Suriname will add something different to it, and due to the fact that they do have history. You understand me? Like what took place last time when Suriname just started their program, and now they are in a good level in their program, so they will want to flex their muscles as to where they are to try and match up to what Canada did. So that's going to be a good one. But definitely the first one would be Panama, Costa Rica. Costa Rica lost to Panama like a billion times in a row. But since the turn of the year, Costa Rica found all of their young pieces, and they are making waves. They are beating teams right across the world. And We can't say the same thing for Panama. Panama pretty much on a losing skid at this point, and it's definitely affecting them. So now Panama has the wins over Costa Rica, but Costa Rica has the farm over Panama. So
Mm.
who we think is going to come out victorious, and it's a very close battle. So I think those are the things that will turn the tides. But I can tell you, all of these teams are very, very nice. That's what I do know. You know.
Mm. No, that they're good matchups, I think, on all across the board. We saw with what was it? Even like Mexico Honduras. That's when I made my comment about Mexico. What was it? Last year
Oh,
where the ref says, you know what, it's 7 minutes. No, just score. Then we'll go to penalties right after. And that keeps going. But that matchup is a matchup where those teams will are up for it. And then every matchup there is some history, which I think I like. But it's old history with some new history, right? Again, Suriname and Canada. Talk to a Canadian soccer fan, football fan 3 years ago. They were in a different mind space when it came to playing a team with a lot of dual Dutch nationals playing them, trying to make the World Cup versus where they are now. USA versus Jamaica is the I you know what, I don't care. I fear no backlash. I'm on my channel. It's the battle of underperforming versus if all things go well, maybe we can get something. You decide which one gets which. And then Panama and Costa Rica are two teams that I feel like are destined to play
mhm.
forever. Which I'm sure Costa Rica was like, oh, we'll go to Canada, please. Just not the pet. We don't want to see the canal again, please. We'll go to Canada, please. And so it's interesting. I like the matchups because there's old history, there's new history, and there's a lot in terms of good football that we could see in some matchups. And other matchups, it wouldn't surprise me if these were all tight affairs. In the same breath, it wouldn't surprise me if these are all lopsided. To be
Okay,
very
lopsided. Okay, so let me start with that discussion then. Before we get into, because I wanted to go into each one of the games them to
mm-hmm,
see how you do feel about it. All right,
mm-hmm.
so obviously we know that Ghana have not treated you well. So let me start with
Well,
Suriname versus Canada, which at this point you keep on acting nice. And yesterday they beat me. At this point, I just feel like they, because of Drake losing the battle against Kendrick, it's like Canada's flexing their muscles. Since then, they are just acting like they're the big dogs. Are they the big
I
dogs of CONCACAF? Is that the truth?
I haven't heard from Aubrey in a minute here. Just like again, and Ghana has missed all their opportunities, so I won't miss this one. I don't. I think based off how they are playing, I think it would be hard to argue, though you can argue it. Um, I think Canada has been playing the best over the last little stretch. I think from Copa America on, I think they've been playing out of all the CONCACAF teams. I think it's not arguable to say that they've been playing the best. So I think I'm not afraid to say that they are playing the best. If you look at CONCACAF rankings, though, you see the difference, right? Canada is in second, but the gap between them and Mexico is not that large, just like it's not that large between Canada and the US. So on form, they're playing well. Um, I'm not going to, again, I'm not going to say we're the kings of anything. You need a crown for that. We haven't been crowned anything. So they need a trophy. They either need a Nations League trophy or they need a Gold Cup trophy, but they need a trophy to justify the claims that saying they are the kings of the region at this point in time. No one's going to deny that they're playing the best right now, but I think
You know, that's best. I actually believe that because yesterday we had an argument like that, to say
mhm,
that yes, Canada is definitely top two, maybe not one, but top two. You understand me? But you had said that they're
mhm,
one, which is okay. Because it's your country, so you need to back them at least an extra point because they're really good. So when someone said they're one and they're really good, you can take that and say, all right. But you see, when you're not good and people brag about it, that's some different level of conversation, blood. All
mhm.
right. I've never said anything bad. I've just said that. So, anyways, are we overlooking Big Bad Mexico, because I thought that in the Copa we really disrespect Mexico. When I went back and check, Mexico pretty much created more chances than every other team in the region combined. They just never scored them. So at what point are we? And now we have Raul coming back for Mexico, which is a goal scorer, and they are actually scoring goals now and winning games. So why are we just putting down Mexico? Is it that we just believe that because United States beat them so often, they are just a no-good team and we're overlooking them?
I think there's a conversation with Mexico, and you can have this conversation with the US as well. They don't they aren't the form that we are accustomed to in terms of the dominance, in terms of everything that they're doing. But I think when it comes to Mexico specifically, they have a problem. They've had a nine issue to me, right? And then within the nine issue comes a conversation of, are you holding on to a generation too long, or are you letting a new generation come in and start to play, right? That's what we saw. Like Canada last Nations League, that's what the problem was, in my opinion. They didn't fully transition. They tried to play the 2021 hits and the record scratched, right? And then they didn't make it to that, and then they went to Gold Cup, and that's all they had. So I feel with Mexico, they're trying to find a combination. I think there are young players who are performing in Liga Mexi, right, who are there, who can contribute, but I feel as if they are still attached to an older generation. Now, granted, Raul Jimenez, I mean, that man at Wolves was the best player in CONCACAF, hands down. Prior to injury, he's the best player at CONCACAF outside of the goalkeeper, who we all know, right? So I think, to me, seeing him in form, because that's what they've been chasing. They've been chasing a nine who can finish. And then, because you had the wing players, you had players who were solid on the world stage, but I think what they needed is a nine to contribute. And what compare Raul Jimenez to Mexico is like, I think he's built more like, say, how you look at, say, a player like Harry Kane at the club level, right? He is a nine, but then he's also more of that creator as well as that forward. He's everything. And when they were trying to replace him, it's like, okay, we just need him to score goals. And then you realize, okay, but you're also missing that creativity. So yes, you don't have Raul at the peak of his form right now, but he's in good form right now. And I think when you have that, it actually does open up more. And I think if you surrounded him, for example, with more youth players, a player like Pineda, who's come in and has been scrappy for them and playing with that fight, I think that helps them grow. But overall, I feel as if I haven't given up on Mexico, but they need to transition in the right spaces. And if they can do that, I think they are not that far off from being the best team in the region again. But I feel like they're that team that's holding on to a cycle too long. And I feel like get the young, like, again, Marcelo Flores, I wish he would have played for Canada, but sorry about that. Everyone is calling me, apparently. But I feel like a player like that could contribute on the side, right? Not Diego Luna, Diego Lainez, a player who is playing well enough there in Liga MX, is a player I think in the national team who you should be giving more trust to in terms of those young players. And I think you surround those players, and you put Raul Jimenez in there. I think they're not that far off, to be very honest. But I think they've held on to players who maybe the lifetime achievement award players of the national team. You know, they've been with the team for too long. To put it in, again, simpler terms, they feel like Canada last cycle, right? Where it's like, okay, I see the players, you're bringing them back, they're kind of playing well, but you really should hand it over to you. So I think that is with Mexico. When it comes to the US, they are just emotionally checked out. They don't look like they're there. Now, granted, yes, they lost to Mexico. This wasn't their full squad. I'm not going to shame them for that. But even against Canada, even against New Zealand, they did not look like they were engaged. So to me, I think the conversation is, can someone motivate them, or is that just who they are? right? Are we pushing more out? Can we squeeze more out of this generation, or are they just kind of what they are? A team that teases in terms of potential, but are really just that. So I think that's kind of where the conversation with those two teams. And right now, Canada has been able to get a string of results. They've played well. They've got wins. And as a result, I think it wouldn't be a crazy take to say they are playing the best in the region. So that's a top three, and that's kind of how it goes.
Yeah, that was a long answer, but I'm grateful for it. Yes, that's so. When you're good, you can talk without no little extra over the top. I could clearly know that you felt those words. Yes, like Kendrick, not Drake, but yeah.
Safe space. Safe space. Okay. I haven't recovered from it. Okay. It's a safe
All right.
space.
So, people, let me know your thoughts in the comment section. We want to get into it. So, Africans, Suriname versus Canada. First look. How are you
Mhm.
looking at it? How confident are you?
I think fairly or unfairly, I will say this. Let me see who's healthy for Canada, and then let me see who Suriname brings in. Because like and I say this with all respect to Suriname. Suriname feels like Jamaica in the World Cup qualifiers, where it was just okay, and a new batch coming in, and then a new batch coming in. So I want to see what they have. I think I've liked what they've done so far in terms of how they've looked. They look formidable. There's no doubt about that. I still favor Canada in the matchup. I feel though that they are a side, and I think this is what I liked about the Panama game versus Canada. They are a side that can be patient, but I feel as if they sped up, they could be dangerous, but then they could like also be reckless for them, right? Suriname is a team, they're going to build from the back, they're going to pass, they're going to wait for their opportunities, move the ball, get to open spaces, move it. Next thing you know, you have a 2-on-1 on the side or a 3-on-2 coming down the middle because someone jumped too early, and that's where it is. Canada right now is just picking their spots and pressing. What I like what they were able to do and what they struggled against with Panama was Panama made the game a little bit uncomfortable. Now the pitch is one thing, the environment was another, but I think Suriname is a side that can pass, but I feel like either you have to come prepared for the press, because it's either going to be a game where they're able to weather it by passing and they back Canada off, and then they're able to build up, or they get eaten by the press and it's 2-0. You're 30 minutes into the first half and you're thinking, okay, do we rethink this or what do we do? So I think that's where the conversation gets a little bit interesting for them. I still think they have the strategy to do it. I think they have the system to try to combat a pressing side, but it always comes down to, do they have the players to be able to do it and think it and move it quickly, right? There's an aspect of playing where Canada has right now is they have the familiarity, right? They have that chemistry where they've played in the system, yes, just since the summer, but still they've played together with it. They're playing in a way that insert whatever player in whatever spot, they're able to step in and look the part. With Suriname, they have looked good building up to this point. I think it's a great achievement for them. But to me, it's if you can't weather the pressure and the press that Canada's going to bring to you, it's either going to be 2-0 early or you weather it and then it's 0-0. And then now you take the front foot and say, okay, now we're going to pass through you. We're going to pass through that midfield. And now we're going to start to create those opportunities where we can get our players on the front foot versus the other side. So I think for me, I like Canada's chances. But again, this is a side I feel stylistically they're built. Do they have the pieces to now finish the job or do the job? We'll have to wait and see.
All right. I love the points that you put out there. And those are the points that I'm going to piggyback off. I think if there was actually a team to defeat Canada, it would have to be two teams because the styles match up, which is Suriname and actually Mexico, because they are the only ones that I think in break presses, like literally technical styles. So it's much more accurate than just to go over the top. So as you said, the players, if they are the players, Mexico players are very, very good. And I want to say that the Surinamese players that I saw are very good as well. But in some areas, you could question it. Like, for instance, if it's a right hand side, I think they still does not look so comfortable. But Van Helleren, he looks more comfortable to pass out of that press. So I think that it's possible that it's going to be a very good game. So I know that everyone is writing off Suriname in this game, but I would say, as what African says, perfect. If they beat the press, Suriname could find themselves in a good position. All right, because they have as what Africans say, they are the players forward. Because Messinian and Charlie Baker ain't two soft soul players. All right, anybody would want them on their teams. So if you beat the press and let them loose, I can tell you, I would love to see Alphonso Davis up against Charles Becker. That will be one good night because nobody seems to can stop that brother in behind. And when they were in Germany, I like the competition of the speed. So both of them meeting up in CONCACAF, that is something special because I would love to see both of them again. And I think Charles Becker will relish his opportunity to go up against him again. Because I don't think people understand that they're actually familiar with each other. So that is very good,
And the thing with that is, like, you, not to say that Davies struggles against a certain type of player, but like you can see, like, it's if you are playing just, and I'm not going to insult a player to say they're just pace, but players who are just pace, that's not a problem for Alphonso Davies, especially defensively.
Facts.
Where he not to say where he struggles, where players get the better of him are those players who have that pace, but then are so technical enough. And that's where, like, when they played Arsenal, right? That's where Saka had a good first game against him, and then it went. And then against Madrid, right? Vinicius was the type of player where, yes, you could get away with pace. Not to say that one is more technical, but you can see the areas where Davies was, okay, I can match up this because angles and speed we can do. But once you get into those tight spaces and being technical, those are the players that he struggles against. So Becker versus Davies is how I felt when I was hoping to get Hakimi versus Davies at the World Cup. That's worth the price of admission for me enough. So I'm excited to kind of see how that breaks down. But the rest of the pitch, that's the interesting thing for me is what we saw from Canada. And again, Panama, I will continue to say this. Thomas Christensen, to me, was the best coach in the region. I think he's getting more out of his talent right now than say the other teams of the top four. So I liked how he employed his team against Canada, what they were able to do. But when you open it up to the possibilities, right? They've gone a couple windows Canada has without Ishmael Kone, right? And to me, Kone is one of the better emerging midfielders in the region, and they're able to do that. But Chuanyao is no just soft soul player like you said either. Chuanyao did the job. Tejan Buchanan is coming back from injury, out wide, but then they were able to get this with Ali Ahmed from Vancouver. So there are players out there that you're looking at and you're saying, okay, if we add them to this, what do they look like now in their final form? I don't think we've seen that yet with all players really working. And then Alistair Johnson wasn't here in this last window as well. So I think they could be very formidable in terms of being pass resistance. Moise Bombito, if he's not already climbing the ranks as being the best center back in the region, he is certainly climbing that ladder.
I heard people keep talking about him and posting, oh, he's the best and the best and the best. I don't think he's the best. But he's a good defender, because I don't think he's close to Ethan Pinnock still. I think people disrespect
I agree with you there.
I agree with you there. I think people disrespect Ethan Pinnock blood. I am tired of it.
The thing, I agree. And I think for me with Bombito, he has the right. He's like a young Davies, right? Though they're about the same age, which is the funny thing. But like he is so raw and his speed. Give him 2 years in Liga when he can figure out his fundamentals, figure out his angles, and not just know that if it's a foot race, I can beat you. Now get him some of those fundamentals playing in those reps. At that point, then it's an interesting conversation because then he has the pace plus the fundamentals to shut down and cut off and work that way. I think he's maybe a year away from us saying, okay, let's look at where you have an Ethan Pinnock who's maybe on the decline, and
Mm-hmm.
just because of age, not because of quality. And then you're saying, okay, those two are good. Okay, Chris Richards at Crystal Palace. Okay, is he playing consistently? Yes, no, maybe so. But
And
like, I
Duki, if
think
Duki comes
he's
to if Duki comes to Suriname,
true.
I think he's gonna add right over Bambito. So all you out here talking about Bambito be the best defender. Well, people signing new players every single day, so you're gonna
Mm,
keep on adding on your list because
mm,
Canada acting like they want to be claiming all titles. They're just the big
mm.
dogs after one day. Oh, I'm tired of this.
We haven't won
I'm
it.
tired
See,
of
but like,
this.
but the thing is, I've never been comfortable with saying we're the kings of something. I'm like, I've been given no crown, right? I need a trophy. I need something to say I deserve this, right? And that's me. So that's when I said if we're gonna say we're the kings of it, we needed to win Nations League in 2023. We didn't. That we needed to win Gold Cup in 2023, and we didn't. So for me, we didn't deserve the title because we needed to justify it with a trophy, and that's kind of how I looked at it.
Thank you. Thank you for being humble. The rest of the Canadians aren't humble. They are just
I need,
all over the place, hyping, showing off.
uh,
But you know what? They're winning. All right. But people,
y-
all I'm saying, blood, don't write off this fixture. This fixture is going to be entertaining,
if
especially the home one. Because I
oh,
can tell
definitely,
you,
definitely,
surprise will be coming. Because remember, in that same Suriname game, versus Canada back then when they had average just the start of it. Suriname should have been 2-0 up on Canada 150%, two empty goals, and they never scored. So people, they
yeah,
are better now. So don't count them out, even though you had a 195,000 years old Victoria at the time. And now you
hey,
have Bambito and Carnida. So they are
hey,
better players as well. You
hey.
understand me? So it's
That was a prime 1005 years old. Okay, Victoria was moving in 2021. He was moving. Okay.
yes, but I'm not trying to show people that we are here for a long while. So the next battle for Suriname, we love it and we want to see it come because we want to see every team being very good. You know?
No,
Yes,
that's
and
true.
that's just my passion for CONCACAF because this was a team that I was watching a long time. So I want to
Mm.
see them test themselves against Canada, and it's going to be closer than what people says. You know?
I think so as well. Let's
Yes.
go through some of these comments. Jason Gooner TV.
Africans is like 5,000 comments. You miss blood.
Hey,
You
hey,
know?
but hey, I'm aging like Vittoria, okay? I'm getting all the years in, but I'm still moving. I'm still moving, okay? Jason Guna, bless up yourself. Caribbean Rivers and Seas, we see you. DJ Gigs, bless up yourself. All right, who else is here? Sean, he's Surinamese today. Normally he's Jamaican or claiming somewhere else in the Caribbean. Congratulations to the Caribbean as well. Two Caribbean teams in the quarterfinals. That's a good achievement for that section of CONCACAF. Happy to see it. Boss Thomas, we see you wants to talk about the reggae girls for 1 week for how much. Hey, the girls are looking. The girls are look. I will say this about the girls real quick. Look, but Bunny robbed me of a good weekend in that Liverpool Man City matchup where I was like Olivia Smith, okay, we're going, and then Bunny had to be like hop two, okay, cool two, and won the game. So I messaged Billy right after I said you stealing my joy, and I
Yes,
will
man.
remember this.
Bunny's top class, man. We are gonna give you the reggae girls. Don't worry yourself. I've added it to my
Mhm.
list. But I'm not sure as yet if I'm gonna turn over because the youth 17s is getting hot. And you know I
Mm.
can't miss that because people expect me. And I've not even done enough because I've not done my recover or like my report on each round. I wanted to introduce that because a lot of people asking me why am I not putting out more effort on the youth 17s, and I need to do it because that's where I broke out from
Yeah.
in the world. To be honest, youth 15 and youth 17, so I need to go back to where I'm coming from. Yeah, so we will do that, Boss Thomas. Don't worry yourself. Make sure we see you there from the start to the finish. So, guys, remember to smash the like button, share, and subscribe. We have 30 out a year. Share it to someone. Let me get more people here because remember these discussions are what elevate the
Yeah.
space. All right. Yes, so definitely
Mm.
subscribe to the channel. Get us to 1,000. It should not be hard, you know. Should not be
I
hard. Africans around here keep on building the platform. I love that you guys are coming out every single week, but keep on sharing it, man. Let more people. Let we get up to 70, 100 people here. All right. Yes. Continue going to your
mm,
thing,
mm.
Africans, so we can move on
Yeah.
to the
So
rest.
yeah. Indeed. So Doki and Dilrosun got their passports, are waiting for FIFA clearance from Sean. All right. So I like some more action in this. Midnight Cowboy says, bless up to me. And I say, bless up back to you, Midnight Cowboy. JD's dog, good for you. I have Billy here today. So I don't know where you might have to go to Billy's dog here. So because Billy's no longer here. All right. All right. I'm not okay. Not okay. Cool. Watching this from prison. I don't want to know what type of things you're doing. Dog, okay.
What he said, watching from prison?
I don't know what your fans are doing, but look, mine are civil. Okay, we are civil, so we're gonna live that civility well. All right, Andrew Wolf, good to hear from you, man. Greetings from that. I wish you much success, Africans. Big hug from distance. Appreciate the love and support. All right, Gigs, know yourself. Big up, you guys. Love it indeed. And going, rolling. All right, Reggae Dancehall TV East Side. Is there a West Side as well? I'm just wondering. I'm just wondering if there's a West Side as well. But one love to yourself as well. Nitro, good to see you as well. Know yourself. I think Cornelius is better. Okay, so we got a conversation in terms of who was the better center back. All right, all right. Know yourself, you here? Okay, why am I in? Why is your guest in jail clothes? I don't. He likes his stripes. That's what I can say. He loves his stripes.
And you see the disrespect Africans? He came in, big up Africans. Why are you a guest? I sure done. They came here and acting like they don't know me. But let me just act like that's the case. Let me just leave him alone. Nitro is his exact name, Yeah.
Yes, Dr. Hero here as well. Good to see you guys as well. So, guys, leave your comments in. Which matchup do you like the most here? Because we've talked about, yes, now Sean's going on off of this. So, we're going to hop off of this before the not. So, we have Canada and Suriname.
We finished Canada and Suriname. We never really came to a prediction, but we look at it and give you some little gems there. So, let me move on to the next one that you want to talk about, because it seems to talk about the system of Panama. Suppose Panama, Costa Rica. That we skim through that very fast. How are you looking about Costa Rica and Panama? Oh, you honestly feel?
I honestly feel that I think Panama has the better coach in this matchup.
Yeah.
I like Christensen in terms of what he's looked like. It's funny when you look at CONCACAF, you can have sides who are all playing well, but they all have a team that's their kryptonite for whatever reason, right? Panama is played better than Mexico, but they just can't beat them. Honduras has had matchups where they are playing better than Mexico, but they just can't beat them. Costa Rica can have the best form. They run into Panama recently, and it's just like, bye-bye, Canal. Cool. It's been nice to come. Ticos, good trip, but the Canal wins again. And so this feels like that type of a matchup. I like the young players that Costa Rica is starting to emerge with. I like how they looked in there around here, because where do I have my list? But I think Panama takes it, because I think in terms of in the continent, in the region, in terms of who is playing in this region, they have the best player. Carrasquilla is the best player, and as a midfielder, if you're in the region,
okay, in the region currently playing, so players picked from the region. Is it not Maggie? Is it not Maggie the best player?
No, I'm sorry.
I thought so.
We're talking. I don't talk turns. I don't talk one turn. Okay.
I'm very sorry.
I feel, look, that player can do whatever he wants to, but I'm never gonna forget the one good turn that we had to live off of for like 2 years. So keep improving as a player, okay? But
I messed up the show, people.
keep. I think a player is improving, but to me, boots in the region, the boots on the grass here, the best player is Carrasquilla, and having a midfielder as your best player dictates so much. And I think that is where they have the advantage. They still have Godoy. They still have. I feel that team, and then with Christensen, they can dictate and really set how they're going to play the game. So I'm going to give them the edge, but I think it's going to be tightly contested. If we're going to give them, I thought if we're going to give a prediction in terms of what that goes, I feel like it's a close 5-2 over two legs, right? Where it's
A close
2-1,
5-2.
3-1. Yeah, where it's like it's 2-1 in one game and then 3-1 in another game.
Africans, I can tell you, you have a new brother that turns up out of nowhere, Mr. Ugalde. If Ugalde does not score 3 goals against Panama, God comes.
Okay.
He is the Terminator.
Okay.
He's gonna. Yes, I think this is where Panama's conversation against them stops. They are going to beat Panama convincing. They are going to
Okay.
beat them convincing. Something is going on in Costa Rica in the water that they feel seriously confident. And they are playing like it as well. They might just knock off one of the United States or Mexico or Canada's very soon as well. Because now they are comfortable to sit back and still create some seriously good chances, and they don't need they can get a half chance and they're going to score from it, an half chance. And once teams reach in those phase, that's when they become devastating. So they don't have to be playing good, just 3 half chances in the game and you're under 3-0, and you're wondering, what kind of madness is this? I've been dominating them and I'm still losing 3-0. So I like what they're doing. I actually respect it, and I think that this is the time that they make a step against Panama. So I'm going to give Costa Rica my advantage at this
Okay.
point. Yeah,
I
because
think
I
that's
think
fair.
in terms of quality, they have more quality on the pitch today than Panama. And I can't believe they have revolutionized the side so fast. Because 6 months ago, you're not talking about maybe Ugalde. Ugalde, you were talking about Jalen Mitchell. He was making his breakthrough. Brandon Aguilera was making his breakthrough. Madrigal also. But Contreras, you were talking about 6 months ago. Contreras not getting in the game. So they have spinned over this squad so fast. I got to give them credit. And Sakira, big ups to him. He's making a difference, because I thought that Costa Rica wouldn't have found back a keeper instant. And Sakira, he's doing his thing. He's showcasing that it's possible. So for me, people, I am going Costa Rica over Panama. It's a tight one, people, but I think Costa Rica's forward bloods, they are not normal. They are maybe they are running down the best informed set of strikers and wing forwards. Yes, they
That
are
might be true, yeah.
devastating. They are devastating.
And I think that's fair. I didn't give what's it called? I didn't give Ugalde much credit in this matchup, and maybe I'm overlooking a very big aspect there. For me, I'm looking at this strictly from a standpoint of, for whatever reason, Panama's gotten the better of them, and it's until I see them win. Like, I'm going to always kind of hedge towards Panama. They can do it, and if they do it, I think they could dominate this. And I'd say, okay, good. And then, you know me, I'd say, now do it again, right?
Yeah.
You don't give me 17 good minutes and then say you're all of a sudden the third best team in the region because you had 17 good minutes. No, show me consistently now. And I think it'll be a tight matchup. That's why I said like a tight 5-2, like a 2-1 than a 3-1 type of affair. But I can see it going both ways, but I'm gonna hedge towards Panama just because I still like the coaching. I think there's more emerging talents. I think where I'm concerned with Panama is until they can push maybe some younger, more emerging talent that can push this group. I feel that
Thank you.
I feel like they might be, and it's unfair to make this comparison to them, but I feel like they might be the El Salvador, where you have a coach, Hugo Perez, Thomas Christensen, who have squeezed so much out of this talented
Thank you.
pool, but you need to replenish it, right? Because this orange is squeezed, right? There's no more juice left. You need a few more tangerines, grapefruit, lime, lemon, whatever you need. You need those now to start stirring the drink a bit more. And I feel my concern with them is that they can sustain this for maybe another 2 years, but for them to sustain it well, I think they need to push, they need some more younger talent to start to emerge within the squad. And we saw some young players in Canada that came off and really added life to the team. But I think that is my one concern with Panama. But for right now, I'm going to trust their form and their recent history versus, say, the talent with Costa Rica where it's coming through. So I'm going to go with Panama. You're going Costa Rica?
Yes, yes. So people on the rewatch, please let me know who you're going with, and also for Africans as well. All right, because we did split on this one, and I think we have put very good points. All right, so what you want Richard to mash up the next one, Honduras,
We,
Mexico.
yeah.
Or you want to just give a fast one so we can go to the big one. All right.
Oh, it's a big one. Mid versus mid is big. I didn't know.
Maybe not in terms of quality, but it definitely in terms of war. All right, the Americans
I
love
will say
war,
this: there
and the
will be more
Jamaicans
goal.
beat them.
There's more action in the comment section with that game than there is on the pitch right now.
I am
Okay.
almost 1,000% sure that is correct. But
Yeah.
tell you what, that is the big war, blood. So we have to just work with it. So for me, Mexico, I think Mexico will teach Honduras something this year. They are gonna beat the bricks of Honduras. All
I
right.
am going. Okay, I'm not going to say that. I'm going to say this. I think they're going. I think Honduras is going to make Mexico work, and the reason they're going to make them work is because the same thing I said earlier. I think there are players here that can unlock a new cycle. Yes, the Diego Lainez's of the world, right? Marcelo Flores of the world, right? You put those players around a Raul Jimenez, I think your attack is set. Until this coach decides to do that, Honduras is going to make them sweat. And they're going to have the same situation as last Nations League, where Honduras is up, what, 1-0? And then it's going to be the 99th minute of additional time. And the ref called for 4 minutes, and we're in the 99th minute, and we're still waiting, and we're still waiting. And then eventually, and somehow, because Henry Martins will be put on the squad, he'll come in and then score a goal, top right corner in the 103rd minute. And then the ref will be like, okay, let's go to penalties now. So I feel that if they don't start giving their youth some leeway and some leash to go and really perform, because to me, if you have young players, I'm always a proponent of start the young players and stay in the lineup. If it doesn't go well, you have veterans on the bench, right? At least you have someone who can calm it down. But if your plan is we're going to go this, and now you're going to put a young player into a new situation where maybe they can't do it, or maybe it's a different level of pressure, then your plan is done. So I think how Mexico wins will depend on who they play. If you see veterans again, and you see a lot of players who you're like, oh, the Mexico of a cycle ago or 2 cycles ago, I think then Honduras will make them work. If they actually give their youth the opportunity, I think this could be done. I think this could be done easily. It could be the most comfortable, and I am going to say a low score. It could be the most comfortable 4-0 over 2 legs that they'll have had, but it'll just be chance after chance after chance, I think. But if they go with the vets, I can see a world where we're saying, and in one semifinal, we have Honduras versus, I'm sorry, am I reading this right? Honduras is playing Canada. Huh. Interesting. I didn't see that coming. And so I think if they give their youth the opportunity, I think they have a chance to really open the eyes and maybe give some more hope and optimism in Mexican football. But that's just kind of how I look and see. So I still think Mexico takes it, but Honduras will make them work depending on who they play.
Okay. And you just talked about some of the younger guys. I saw that they're giving Diego Leones some chance again. They have Vega in it. Alexis Vega is still 26. He's not any older. He's just there for 500 million years. So to be and then you have Areda. in. Alera is 23. Alvarado is 26. Erta is 23 as well. Vargas is 19. Marcel Ruiz 23. So they do have a lot of young players in, but I think they wanted to bring blood, because what sometimes we do is bring young players in unguided, and then that's where you have the big drop off, like you lose a lot of matches, just like maybe on Costa Rica was losing matches and look out of start, and it worked very fast. So sometimes you can bet on them and it worked very fast. Well, I think Mexico tried to go that way, and you realize even Suriname dominated them on the ball. And they fired the coach very fast. So some coach wanted to make that big jump, but the administration don't want that, because they don't want to let go of that dominance of CONCACAF region. It's either first or second, but you can't go down to fifth and sixth. So they want to go with that guided approach rather than you just drop everyone and just restart. They don't want to do that, because they believe that you have a Suriname, you have a Jamaica, you have a Canada, and you have Panama there. Obviously, you have the United States that they're fighting with now. The jump back to top supremacy might be too hard, Africans, and that might be the biggest problem. And no, not might be. That is the biggest problem, because they tried over a few coaches, and those coaches never got the time. So what you have to say about that then is the federation approach is the biggest problem then, because they are firing the coaches them that's trying to go younger and fresher and to bring in new people. Because remember the guy that played for the Suriname match, it was all young players he's trying to bring in, He was trying to mix the team and they fired him.
I think it's always a battle and balance between integrating new players, but then also results, right? And I think in any sport, you're in a result-based business. So as much, the unfortunate part of it is you can look as good as you want. At the end of the day, they will look at wins, losses, draws. And if you have more wins, then you're good. If you have no wins, we have a question. And I think that's where some people always get into the conversation of give me an ugly win versus a pretty loss, or vice versa. I think, and I don't necessarily disagree. I don't necessarily agree with them, but I understand their point.
Okay. Here's where Mexico is not on that. They need pretty wins.
They are not. But I think a federation will always get into a trouble when you're trying to. What are you trying to do, right? Are you trying to? Why is it that every conversation we have always opens those same three doors? So we're gonna open this door. Are you trying to get the best out of? Are there players who are deserving, or is your national team a shop window where you're trying to sell players, right? Because in any way, there are players who you can look at and say there are players who are deserving. I think where a federation gets into trouble is when they start to try to dictate how they want players to be integrated and incorporated into a team versus a coach. Because to me, the conversation with that is always a player shouldn't just because a player is performing here or there doesn't necessarily mean that they should be somewhere. I'm always a conversation of have they gone through all? Are they everywhere? Are they ready to come through? Right? If someone is trying to jump, say, from a U17 to a U20, right? That I don't worry as much about because, again, it's a youth system. You're trying to play a system. If you're going from a U20 system to your national team, is it the same system you're playing, right? Are you bringing a player because, okay, this player is doing well? Sure, you can bring in a striker who is scoring a bunch of goals or a winger who's looking very impressive in the league. But does that actually fit what the coach is trying to do? Or are you in a role to say, I want to just reward this player because this player is here and there? I think there's also a time and place for that, right? I think where Mexico, Canada, and US have an opportunity right now because they don't have many competitive games, they can experiment more, right? They have to schedule friendlies, which means at the end of the day, they're not to say that they're not real games, but they're games where you don't need to worry about a competition.
The result.
So you can't
the result as in the final result. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, the results matter. CONCACAF, likes to have their 19 different ranking systems to make sure that even though FIFA says you're in this place, in our region, you're in this place. So I think a federation can hinder growth if they get stuck with what they're trying to do. I will always say this: it's not the national team's job to promote and build and develop players. That is on, it's not the senior national team's job. I will say that. That's on your infrastructure. And if your infrastructure isn't set, then build it, right? Oh, there's nowhere for, like, nothing is stopping you from, saying, okay, a player is performing well at U20, but they're not ready, say, for the national team. Nothing is stopping you from creating a U21, a U22, a U23 squad that you get together and perform, or use that as a building block to develop them and say, okay, this is a system you're going to go into at the national team. Get these principles in. Now go back. We want to see this at your club, so that the coaches are watching something like that. Again, it's very altruistic and all perfect in how it sounds. But I think at the end of the day, when federations start to get their hands into that pot, that's where the food starts to spoil. And I think let the coaches, I'd rather have a coach live and die by what they want to do than, say, having a federation come in and say, hey, don't do this. But I also will say there are times when the federation makes the right choice, right? Look at Morocco before the World Cup, right? Morocco said, hey, we want Ziyech in the team. We want Hakimi in the team. The coach says, I don't have plans for those players. And the federation says, I don't have plans for you. And then he was gone. They brought in the coach, and then miracle run. And you have to side with your players in some situations, but those are the situations where I say your team has to really, or your federation really has to be, they have to be selective in when they jump in. If they're always jumping in, then it just becomes like, well, why am I here? Because you're going to be coming here instead. So I think choose your spots. But once the federation gets their hand into the food, I feel like it starts to spoil, and I don't think that's good for anyone.
Okay. So I go for a comfortable win for Mexico, and you go for a tight, competitive affair, which is fair, Yes. So we have a few more topics, but guys, we have 60 odd people here. At least, if you're going to be here, let me get the likes equal to who is here. So if you have 60 people here, please get us up to 60 likes as well, and make sure to subscribe to the channel. This is the place that I come to have conversation aside from my channel. So I have signed this channel. So if you hate me so much, subscribe over here. If you love me so much, subscribe. If you hate Suriname so bad, subscribe over here, because over here is Canada. All right. And they hate you guys up.
I was gonna say, you're talking as like, this is where I go to escape the busy
No,
grind.
I was about to say that, but I realized that I can't promote something like that. So if you hate Suriname so much and you love Canada because they're not playing Jamaica, subscribe. All right.
Oh man, let's run through some of these comments here, because we've run through a few. We had the whole everything here. Where's Brain Drain? Cool. Billy saying he's a Club America fan. Zendejas is above him. Like DeRozan, he's a playmaker. Okay. We had some talks. Okay. Suriname is coming for me. It should be a good game. May the best team win. I think the best team will win. That's fine. All right. They want to be Nigerian, and the one Ghanaian only when they win.
The wannabe.
The wannabe Nigerian, and the one Ghanaian only when they win. Don't worry. I'm still there. Listen, I've ridden pain. Okay, I've seen mistakes that are ridiculous.
That French fraud is the only big Jamaican French fraud. Yes.
I'm not involving myself in this.
I am telling you, he has nothing good to say, blood. Never.
Right. Canada over Suriname, and then Jamaica over USA. We'll get to that matchup in a minute. I think Canada will lose to Suriname in Suriname. Big upset.
That wouldn't be a big upset. I think it would have been upset, yes, but it wouldn't be a big upset, because we expect it to be a tough game in Suriname. But I think overall, people expect Canada to be the winner overall in the tie. because you
Yeah.
can't see Canada is not so far better than Costa Rica and Mexico, but they did the same thing to Mexico and Costa Rica. So what are we? I think I know the ages, but it's okay. I will not talk, because
Omar
you're gonna
Fallon
hear that.
jumping in saying, did Canada get any new recruits? No new recruits, but I think the interesting thing, and I said this in my roster breakdown for the October window, I think if you look at I think they might be set at center back in terms of they have Cornelius and Bombito, and then directly behind them, bringing in a Jamie Knight Labelle who's at Bristol, a Nico Seeger who can play as a center back, but can play as a CDM as well. You still have Kamal Miller, you still have Joel Waterman, players of that ilk. If you're and I know you want to be mean about it, but there are young center backs there, so I think they might be good there. And then out wide, I think your players are there. I think, truthfully, right side, a battle between Ahmed and Buchanan will be interesting. Miller versus Schaffelberg. I think it's a fun conversation. The wild card to me there is if they still think they have a chance with Koleosho, if they make a run at him, this team looks interesting. But I'm gonna leave my dreaming for another time. I'm gonna leave my dreaming for another time. Renvo Baker says, so true. Every player that's going to nationally must be ready to play at the high level. Until they can understand that, they will continue to be stuck right where it is. Okay. Laughing escapism. Okay. All right. Some Okay. Some stuff for you to do a little bit later. So letting us know they win here in France. That's true. They do win games. I'm so happy for them for that. Between 2023 and October 2024, home games, Jamaica scored 5 goals in 7 games. Away goals 32. J chances are good in the quarters. I think they are good in the quarters away because they will have to. Let's get into this matchup. Jamaica versus USA. To me, I look at this as the team versus who is the team who says they could be good, and the team that we say if everything goes well could be good. It's the wish we could be. It's the wish
So
they could.
who is who? Who is who? Because they never really.
They both
Okay.
fit both. They both fit both criteria.
And I think that is disrespecting USA. I think we always try to put down USA because they're so good for so long. Even
Right
USA
now,
being bad, even
right
USA
now where they are,
so even USA being so-called bad is still better than Jamaica and better than majority of the other teams. Because if USA plays Suriname or Jamaica, they are going to be the favorites. It doesn't matter what we are out here talking about blood. They are going to be the favorites because
they
really and truly they
yeah.
are the favorites. So is it that they have won so much over a period of time while we keep on looking down on them? Because every single time they meet us, even with MLS players, they seem to be dominating the game.
I say my comment based off of their recent current form. Not over there the longevity. I'm looking at them the last 2 windows. And so for me, when I look at the last 2 windows, I got my card in the mail. Don't worry, it's right there in the mail. It came with my passport, actually. It came with my passport, right there. So we're good. No, I think for me, based off how they are, their problem going into this next window is going to be availability. Who is there? Right? They're not going to have Balogun, which means they're going to have a 9 issue unless they. That's going to be the problem. Everything's going to
They
have
are
to
going
run
to have
through
a 9
Pulisic.
issue.
Yeah,
USA have the
you could
most
argue that they've
nines in the
had a 9
world.
issue.
No, not in the world.
Who?
In the CONCACAF, they have the most nines.
Yeah,
They can just
yeah,
pick
and if you
Adji
have,
Wright. Adji Wright scored two against Jamaica last time. Pepe can come
and
and
sometimes,
Pepe scored 2. They are just used to scoring 2 goals against Jamaica. Pepe scored 2
yeah,
goals against Jamaica. Then you can just bring in Sargent. He's scoring goals just to see it. No,
yeah.
Africans come.
I listen.
I kind of me and Billy Dog. Oh my God, JD's dog changed his name. I can't believe this.
Well, at least we're on brand now. We're on brand. Here's my problem, and let me explain this properly. Let me explain this properly. They have 9s. Yes, they have the biggest pool of 9s that they can pick from. But right now, what is their club form? What is their what's it called? Their form for country. It's either they're only good for club and they're not scoring for country, or they're not playing for club, but then they can only score for country, or they're only scoring for country, not playing for club, or whatever version you want to put it. I think their problem is they're missing 8 players against Mexico. So when they lose 2-0,
Yes.
I'm not really surprised. I know everyone in America wants to. I'm sorry, some of the pundits want to act like the sky is falling. Well, you guys need to get used to like a team. You played effectively. You played your bench against a team that needed a win, and they got the win, and they played like they needed it. And then now you want to be upset. Oh, where was the fight? What is this coach doing? Just say what you're trying to say, guys. You didn't have these conversations when Berhalter was terrible in Canada and couldn't win on the road, and Pochettino can't win with the same group on the road. But it's the coach's fault. Come on now. Get your
What
USA
you're
flag
saying?
hat.
It's some infighting going on in USA. That's what you're saying.
Look at England when they hire Tuchel and everyone starts to complain and say, "Where's
Yes,
the
I
English
heard some
manager?"
statements. I heard some
Right?
statements
And my
because
response
how
to that is,
long have
where
you
are
have?
the English managers
Yes,
in the
like where
EPL?
are
Where
the
are the
English?
English managers?
No, but they're not doing anything in nothing. So why you need English managers when you're not good? You understand me? So why you need American managers when you're not good? You need good managers. Panama has a manager that we are saying is the best manager in the region. He's not from
Mm.
Panama. Pochettino, I can tell you, Pochettino is might be one of the best. Like, to get the best out of young talents, we have to give him credit, brother. He brought Tottenham from nothing. Tottenham was just a Gareth Bale, Luka Magic sell-on club, and they have 500 million and don't know what to do with it. And then all of a sudden, Hurricanes spring out of nowhere from goalkeeper to top of the Premier League. You understand me? So just give them the opportunity. I think Pulisic is going to be world class under that brother. He's going to score goals and assists and kill people blood.
I don't.
Tyler Adams, oh my God, Tyler Adams
But
is going to
again,
be great under
you
that
bring up
man.
Tyler Adams, and then I bring up Tyler Adams, Gio Reyna, Serginho Dest,
Jesus
Balogun.
God, man.
What's their problem right now? Availability. That to me is the US's problem right now. I think the drop off between their best players and the players who are underneath them in the depth chart is much more significant right now than I think any of the other top 4 teams in the region. Which means if you take half of your lineup and you replace them with players who are off your bench, for example, I think it levels a playing field a lot. And I think that's where the US's problem is. I don't think Poch is a bad coach. I think their depth is very. You know how people used to talk about Canada, and maybe still do, where they say it's Davies, David, and no one else. And to me, I'm like, I mean, there's other players, but I think the US's problem right now is their high end. The gap between their high end and then their middle class is significant.
Oh,
And you could
well,
argue that,
yeah, continue.
or I would, in the same breath, I would say their high end isn't really as high as people think it is. And in
Yeah.
that same breath, that means that between that solid 11 underneath them is still a bigger gap. I think
So
their 11 versus
who,
everything
who,
else. Yeah.
so who would you class as their iron? Pulisic, one of the best performers in the world. Facts.
Mhm.
Like, no doubt. For one half
I
season now,
give you that.
one
Yeah.
season plus, he's racking it up.
Mm.
Weston McKinney, he kept form for one season now, so he's still in good form. So that's two players.
But the problem with my problem, I would arguably say the list stops with Pulisic, because
Okay.
McKennie to me is half season on fire, half season burning things, right? Like he's on fire and scorching, and then the next half of the season he's burning everything around him, and you're like, what are you doing? What are you doing?
But Africans, you see, I think we are grading them too harsh, because remember, they are coming in CONCACAF, which is nowhere near the level that they're playing. They are fighting with the best players them in the world. You understand me? But when we are, so if you should grade them with the rest of CONCACAF, I think it's a no-brainer. The performances become way more way more you can say a lot more individuals in USA team performs better than everyone else around the CONCACAF. So even though you're saying that they didn't perform so well in their club for the entire season, when you compare it to the CONCACAF values, it even rose higher because they have reached such heights. Even when it's halfway in their clubs, it's still way high above everybody's performance in CONCACAF. Because how much other players, you can say the responsibility of Weston McKennie is the same. The responsibility of Pulisic is the same. Where all of them, they are all leaders in their clubs, to be honest. I can't really. I think they have been winning so much. We need to knock them off the perch. That's what I would say. That's my take still. I am not agree with Billy's dog still, but I'm just giving you some argument, you know?
And that's fair. I think for me, there's two conversations. Wow! Yo, man, I'm trying to keep my voice low. I'm trying to save my throat here, but okay. No, I think there's a point where I say this. I think there's two areas of evaluation. There's, to me, how are they for the region, and then how are they for the world? Sure, you want to talk about how they are for the region? Yes, they are by far the best. I don't think that they've won too much that I'm trying to knock them off their peg. I'm looking at them and how they are currently built, and I think their biggest problem right now is availability, because the next layer of players coming aren't at their level. Whether you think that that level is performing at the highest in the highest leagues or being in squads for the highest leagues, when you go from that next level down, there is too much of a gap that you go from, okay, they're clearly the best team in the region, to like, you could, I could tell if someone told me Jamaica beats the US the next round, it would not shock me at all.
Okay,
because it would, in my mind, I would say, okay, well, I know they're missing Balogun. They're going to be missing they're going to be missing Des. They're going to be missing Reina. They're going to be probably missing Tyler Adams. Right? So, okay. So are the next players, are they going to be good enough to build? Right? Are they going to be able to play how you also have a team who is learning a new system with a new coach in now his second window? I think that matters.
Okay.
I think that matters. I think that matters a bit. Right? And so I think
okay, because no, you bring me up to play devil's advocate, because you keep on saying that they have to knock, if Jamaica knocked them off, you would not be surprised. But you kept downplaying the standard that United States has, because if United States, you said, a lot of injuries, who they're gonna call on? MLS players and then fringe European players. Jamaica calling on USL players, JPL players, and some Manning Cup players mixed with some of our bigger players them, and availability suffers us as well, because Liam Bailey is out, Amari Bell is out, Blake struggling with injury, Deshaun Bernard just got injured, Lati Bodier was injured. You understand me? So even though we're saying that when Jamaica faces injury, it's us way harder. You understand me? It's us way harder. So for me, I had to play devil's advocate right there, to be honest. Let me just answer this one. Before the game, Pulisic is up there in the winger position, not the best players in the world. When you put it in the world, he's gonna stretch way out. But for winger, he's one of the better performing winger in the world at this moment. That's what I would say still. Africans take on United States is fair. I like them, but I have to play devil's advocate to say why I could see people thinking that you're downplaying them in certain sense is because you're not factoring what Jamaica is, and Jamaica is nowhere near the standard of United States.
But again, you only heard me argue on one side. Now let me cross the road and and post up on Reggae Boys Boulevard. Um,
Yes, we're gonna have the conversation. We're gonna have the
I I
conversation.
think I think to me this matchup overall comes down to who is health, not simply who is healthier, because
No, no, no.
like I
I
don't
saw
trust
Kevin. I
because
saw Kevin Williams. I don't pay Jason good in mind. I think he's just fighting for his citizenship in Jamaica, which he can't get. Because they don't want to give him. They don't like foreigners, so he's not gonna get it. Kevin Williams says Garden gonna help USA beat Jamaica.
what? What you say? You
Oh
saying
my God.
Campbell's not gonna help down on the wings?
Yeah, some comments can really take you away when you're trying to make your point. That's why I can't do live streams because some of these comments are ridiculous, man.
But I
So
think to me, look, I think to me, if we're the problem with the U.S. right now is they aren't healthy. The problem with to me, the problem with Jamaica and why, regardless of everything I said about the US, why I still don't trust them, even though I could see it happening, I don't trust them to beat the US,
mhm.
is because it feels like they want to play defend and counter. And the reason why I say that is a problem is two aspects. Number one, you need to be tough in the middle or solid in the middle of the pitch to be able to at least do that so that there is more than a line of defense that is not your back line. They have not, I feel like I've watched all Jamaican videos for 3 years. We still haven't figured out the midfielder. Now, hey, maybe Isaac Hayden helps. Maybe
Yes,
Mason Holgate opens the
I
door.
think that will be helpful, bro. Midfielders will actually help in midfield Africans. Oh, ironic. That is something that could actually work. Get a midfielder to play in midfield, and he will help. I think it might just be the case.
Mm-hmm. And I
Yeah,
and I think
because Africans,
the
you don't get
yeah.
it. Get a midfielder and put in midfield, and it seems to work. Oh, ironic. You don't
What?
think
No,
that
JD,
should be
no.
the case?
JD, no. You put your right back in midfield. Okay, you put him
Okay,
as a
and put
holding.
your winger in midfield and your
No,
your
no.
your your
Then
your,
you
your
then you then you
nine your
play.
central forward in midfield.
Yeah. Then you play your Cam as a left back. Okay, you play your Cam as a
Bro,
left back, and then they'll never see it coming. They'll never see you coming.
that is exactly what we did. We put our right back in midfield, our attacking midfielder, our winger in midfield, our central forward in midfield. Then Bobby Reed, a winger, our central forward in midfield. Oh my God! Oh, ironic. We don't have any midfield because really and truly, people, we don't have any midfield. We are just trying to get a midfield now. We are just trying to get a midfield now. So that's why I had to defend the midfield just a while ago because we are just getting a midfielder. So why would I reject a midfielder to go back to not a midfield? I want a midfield, people. So I will take any midfielder. Maybe too much midfield in my statement just a while ago, but yes.
There, if I don't know if I necessarily and like the way that the coach has played in his games. Now, granted, he's played two teams that like to pass the ball, and for whatever his pragmatic reasoning it was, let's soak up and try to hit on the counter. That is our solution. Against the U.S., they will welcome you building up, and then they will test that. Right? I know we like to look back and say, okay, well, Jamaica nearly got it done. They scored in like the third minute, and then they were holding on to threads of their socks. Okay, they
Yes,
were
that
holding on to
that
the
is
thread of their socks
that
for
is
dear life.
the longest 90
80
minute
minutes
game I've
of
ever
missed
seen in my life.
chances.
It was 90 minutes from 7 minutes in the game. I have never seen it in my life. 90 minutes
Mhm.
from 7 minutes in the game. No, I saw it the other day when Brentford scored against Manchester City. It was like, no, Brentford played to 23 minutes and they had counters over and over. So I'm not going to disrespect Brentford. It was worse than that. But it was 7 minutes of 90 minutes in the game. But let me talk some good things, because I had some good things. I
Sure.
love the form of Andre Blake. I think Andre Blake is really showing me something, that even when he's 700 years old, he can still improve. Because his passing got a little bit better, and he's on point with his saves and everything. He really made me feel happy that I saw what people told me about him back in the days. Andre Blake is the only player that could have lied to me and said a big club came in for him and he never went there, and I slightly believe. The rest of the Jamaicans, I don't believe you. Andre Blake is the only person I will believe that maybe other big clubs came in for him and he could have made that big club. So I believe Andre Blake 75% no. But the rest of them, I don't believe them. So Andre Blake is a positive. I think that he brings he made you believe that Jamaica can actually win games, even though we're not playing good. At first, I thought that we always going to lose the games. So Andre Blake gave me that feeling. Ethan Pinnock, Ethan Pinnock, um, Ethan Pinnock, I know that Cranky and those mans, my ballad brother. He seems to talk about Ethan Pinnock losing a step. I just believe that sometimes it takes a while for you to get back into your normal form. But Ethan Pinnock, I thought that he has been pretty much solid, even the 2 games of Brentford that he gave up the errors. Sometimes people have to understand that after a point, just like Damian Lowe gave up 2 errors, he had 20 other contribution. At what point you're going to give them some credit or cut them some slack and blame somebody else? We keep on blaming players that comes under every pressure. If they are the last line of defense, Africans, it's very hard for me to say I'm going to blame them. What happened to the forwards? What happened to the midfielders? What happened to the deeper line midfielders? I think we need to look at football the actual way, what it is. You have 3 other lines before that line. And if they keep an and you don't have 16 red cards on the field or 7 red cards, they are in front of you. They're just not doing anything. So stop. I think Ethan Pinnock is impressive. Damian Lowe, yes, I would have mentioned Damian Lowe, but give me my time. Why Damian Lowe and Ethan Pinnock is not the same level. So I had to mention Damian Lowe first. All right.
Why do I have a cat?
So Damian Lowe, I thought that he played a very good game the other day. I gave him one of the highest scores, but they said I ate the player. When I'm giving it, bro, I don't know what to do, Africans. I need to sign for our next country. I don't even know which country that will be yet. Because I've been signing for countries for around 7 years now.
Yeah, and we remember. Don't worry, we remember every country you've signed. You signed. You've co-signed for many countries, and we remember.
Watch that ballad one in the chat. My ballad brother. It's 2 recent errors. But Damian Lowe made 2 major errors in the last game at a way lower level, and I still gave him his big credit. But you can't just leave it alone. All right. Yes, I have a lot of countries. Believe me, the more you guys follow me, you're gonna realize how much people truly love me. I'm telling you, I'm like bounty killer. I don't like nobody, and everybody love me. Yes. But anyways, let me continue. I was on my floor to give one of their boss the credit, and they cut me off. You see, that's why Africans they make up stories that I don't like their players, and I'm just gonna give one of their boss the best credit, and they cut me off. All right.
No, but see, Billy. The problem is, they want to see you just praise a team like you praise Suriname some days. So they want to see you praise a player like you praise Suriname some days.
I was about to praise the player, give them. But hold on, Africans. Who can you tell me? Who Andre Blake plays for? Is it not Jamaica?
Yeah, I mean,
or you don't know which team he plays for?
I remember Andre Blake making saves, so that's all that matters.
So you realize what's going on now, Africans. You realize what's going on. They're lying. Don't follow Juras. He's lying. You see, they have their favorites. Because, irony. You know who is Juras' favorite? Damian Lowe. You know who is Cranky's favorite? Damian Lowe. You know who is Umza's favorites? Damian Lowe. So because I talked about Pinnock, I should have just never talked about Pinnock, which is the big baller, and go straight and talk about Damian Lowe. But that cannot be right because I know it isn't. You know?
It's a vibe. It's always a vibe. I mean, you keep. I'm showing your comments, guys, because at this point we're vibing here. We're vibing here. Okay. Yes, I didn't realize I got a Cats too, but here we go. Okay, but strictly on the pitch, I will say this: I think whoever wins the midfield in this matchup,
please, Africans, don't say that. Don't say that. You know?
Oh, you've already conceded the midfield? It's already conceded? McKenny's already there?
No, be honest to yourself, Africans. Oh, you can come to me now and everyone in the chat and say, whoever win the midfield, win the game. Then USA no win. Then it better we don't bother play the game. Then it better we don't even bother play the game. Which midfield have you ever seen we played and win? Just tell me a game where we win a midfield battle. We just played Nicaragua and they won a midfield battle. Every game we played Damrep and they won the midfield battle. We played Dominica. I don't even know what is Dominica. I thought Damrep is Dominica, but I realized it's two different countries and they still won a midfield. I don't even know the players and they won a midfield. We don't win midfields. So you cannot start it with that statement, Africans. Tell me that way. Tell me something else.
Okay, if you have solid wing, whoever wins the wing play then has a chance to win.
Again, no, yes, the wing, we are
that fast. You have a chance. I'm sorry.
Fast.
Wait, JD, I just got a call. Sorry, your wings are no longer available. Okay, so then you're not winning too, because I like the problem with this matchup again is availability. Who comes here? It's not even who, because if you get this version of the US, even if you get like you bring in a Johnny, you bring in maybe McKinney's playing better there.
Mm-hmm.
You go Weah's healthy with Pulisic, and then you have Sargent up top there. And then you say, let's say hypothetically, Bailey comes. I say hypothetically because every window, Bailey seems to be pulling something. I think he's just pulling his phone to say,
he's gonna. I think November window might be a little bit too of us. You don't think because it looks like he's having a serious problem. So maybe
I don't think he comes. Well,
yeah,
we can have a Bailey conversation.
I have a feeling he doesn't come November either because they don't seem to fancy him. You know. Yeah.
And I don't want to live in a hypothetical world because I want to live in a world where things are confirmed. But if you tell me right now in a hypothetical world that okay, the much anticipated player, if the woods turn green and the woods are green and that shows up, Bailey, go rest for a year or two. You're good. That's how I would take it. That's how I would take it personally. So for me, like they need, to me, Jamaica right now, if you look at the sections of the pitch, right? Back line, you can say, okay, they have the better goalkeeper right now on form, even though Blake, you're saying, can you stay healthy or not? There's no U.S. goalkeeper that you were going to say you're taking right now over Blake. I'm sorry, you're not. You go back line.
The only goalkeeper I would take over Blake at this point, and it's because he's young and he had a very Slonina. I would take him because he's young and Blake is older. But based off form, I would still take Blake over Slonina. And Slonina is a very good prospect. You know? Yeah.
Yeah.
But I agree with you. He's the best goalkeeper on form right now.
If you go and then back line, Richards v. Pinnock, I'll call that a wash. If they play Holgate as a center back, okay, we're cooking with something. I think then they have a better duo because Ream is not it. Robinson is not it. Miles Robinson, not our Fulham brethren. And then the fullbacks I give to Robinson for
the fullbacks goes to United States. Even though it shouldn't, he goes to the United States because our fullbacks we're still working on things there. He goes to the United States.
Yeah, right. The midfield on paper is a conversation on the pitch, but it's always on paper. It's always a conversation on paper for Jamaica. So let's keep having it on paper.
The
I
entire
can't trust what I haven't seen.
everybody in the midfield, United States gets it. It doesn't matter if it's United C team, they are the better midfield. But up front now, Damar agree, Mikel Antonio. Mikel Antonio will miss one of the matches, so Mikel Antonio. Africans, it's the more we talk, it's like it's gonna be a struggle, man, because they have like six position that is just better. Like we just don't have anybody to name. But one thing I know that we have Damian Lowe to come back. We have Dishan Bernard to come back. We have Blake to come in, you know, and we have Damara Gray in, you know. Hopefully we can find some other people that we definitely get on some good form so we can really fight, you know. But based on I don't worry about United States having some injuries, because every time they get an injury, Africans, and they just bring in it, you might not think the player has this high level quality, but what are they comparing to? We are coming to look first. You said McKinney is injured. Who they brought in for McKinney?
Who did they bring for? Well, they had Morris. They had everyone else is injured. Normally they would bring in De La Torre. They would have brought in Johnny Cardoso, but like now,
but you have,
in the mid,
look, you have Reina, McKinney. What's the next one at AC Milan? That black guy.
Musa.
Musa. So Musa would be the one coming in for McKinney, and Adams would be the defensive central. So you bringing in Musa, we bringing in Maggie.
Well, he'll turn.
So I'm just trying to show you that you maybe we're down.
There are levels. Yeah, I understand. There are levels to
they
are and
level
where they
is
are.
still ridiculously higher than anything we even have in the first place. So I think it's going to be an uphill battle, regardless. Regardless of which team they do pick, it's going to be them being the favorites, and Jamaica have to be organized and just utilize their areas, which is the quality players them. So if it's Damara Agri, make sure you cook up a system that Damara Agri get the best opportunities to finish off. You understand me? That's all we have to look at it. I don't think we can feel a team, whichever United States team is, to challenge them toe to toe. It just don't work. Even in the Gold Cup, people said that we go at them. Lie, we are telling. We play limited amount of minutes to an MLS team when we had Leon Bailey and everybody in the field. Limited amount of minutes. I watched that game 3 to 4 times, and United States was better than Jamaica Blood in the actual game as well. And that is just full USL MLS players. So it's going to be a tough task, but the game has to be played. That's a good thing. And we need to work up a proper system to go at them and see if we can get it.
I don't want to say this insultingly, but I'll say it this way. Are there enough moments of individual brilliance in Jamaica side to pull out a win at the office, do you think?
Pull out a win at the office. Maybe Damian Lowe and those guys can just pull a era type of style and get the win, but I don't see we creating so much chances at the office. That game for Honduras showed me that sometimes it's either the system the players don't understand, or they are not willing to die out there, because Honduras looks like they wanted to die, and some of the players them never wanted to die as well. So they never wanted to die, you know. So you have to want to die out there. And every time I saw America, they even though the last 2 games they look like they never wanted to die, but I think when it's real game, they want to die. And we need some more die players, you know.
I don't want to underestimate the reality that I haven't seen this US side look interested or look engaged really and good in 4 games. And now they're going to try to play a team now with Jamaica and everyone's hoping. And if you get a Mason Greenwood who shows up, then it's like, okay, maybe get a moment of brilliance from him. Maybe Gray can do something. Maybe it's the game against the US in World Cup qualifiers where Antonio scores a howler of a goal, and then maybe you should have won it later. Maybe you shouldn't have. Who knows? But at this point, this is the game you're looking at. I feel like I haven't seen in terms of how Jamaica has played with this coach that they're going to be, and I've given up on the idea of them actually imposing how they'd want to play on a game, imposing their style, imposing themselves on the game. I've given up on that. They're going to counter against anyone. They could play the Haitian U23 team. They'd still
Yes, I just believe
counter
that. That's
because that's how they
yeah,
want to play. And
yeah,
so
man. And
for me, I think the conversation for that is there enough moments, right? Is there a great does the Mari Gray create enough moments and score a goal here and then do something, and then okay, we're both seeing the same thing, and I'm just like, okay,
let me go on my computer because my bald brother, he can do some. It is 11 o'clock now, and I should stay up until 1:30 to wait to do a show with Cranky, And I've been on the road, blood. I've been tired. And Cranky won't just start his stream on normal human being time. He's doing some 4 o'clock in the morning thing. Cranky, I have a wife in there, really getting upset, Come on, Cranky, man. You just call me.
oh well, good, apparently there. But back to the thing, I don't know if there's enough moments of brilliance in this Jamaican side where they can get that result. Um, I will say though, for this, though it's a different coach, I will say I don't I
All
don't
right,
want I don't want Pep
let
anymore.
me make sure say this public. Cranky, next week, make a plan for a show and I will turn up. All right. This is a planned show that I do every week with Africans. All right. To make a plan, and Africans have to catch up with me to see how it goes. I was on the road with the kid. I had to come in, call Africans, ask him if we are going to reset or he's going to continue. And he said he's continuing. And then I turn up here, big boss. My lady came in from work 10 o'clock when we just started the stream. And it's going to be 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock now, So I can't stay up 4 o'clock cranky in the morning. These things are madness in a cranky, man. Just give me a right day, a right time, and I will be available, all right? Stop telling me about it. It's a privilege. Why are you disrespecting? Yes, African. Sorry to, yeah.
Oh, I don't. The comments have reached. We've passed the vibe season, so we're here. But I think I knew that was coming. I knew that comment was coming, but that's okay. I knew that comment was coming. I think for me, it's just a conversation of is there enough moments for them to come out. Now, for Jamaica, the U.S. has struggled against low blocks. Now, maybe against Pochettino, they have a better opportunity to go through, but low blocks in the U.S. have been a struggle. So I do wonder if defending isn't the wrong choice. And I think from there, maybe it's going on the counter and growing. But I don't trust. Again, I need to see the midfield on the pitch. On paper, we've been playing fantasy football with this team for years now. Imagine if this player comes in. Imagine if this player comes in. This and that and this. Well, we finally got two and a couple more. And now your first test is the best team in the region over the last few years. Have fun. Nothing would make me happier than to see you beat the US, but nothing would fill my cup with more joy than to see the US batter you. So I win either way. I'm happy either way. But I don't know if I don't know if
I'm okay. I'm okay. Africans talking, so I'm just waiting, Yeah.
I don't know which will come. Oh yes, I do agree, and I will be here. I will be here with my hot drink and my
I would
snacks,
be in
watching
shock
everything.
if that happened. I would be in shock if that happened in the first place, Yes.
Yeah, but I think it's more
I
likely
would
that
be
the US.
meltdown. I would be meltdown. Not USA fans. I would be in awe to say, wow, fantastic. Yes. Cranky, it's a lie. I don't do 20 shows a day. You're lying on me. I do one damn show a day. And you guys do 55 shows. I don't know how this is possible. I do the least shows. but yet still get credit for the most shows. It's not true, Cranky. All right. Yes. I do shows when you wake up in the morning, and that's about it. Nothing else. And then now I've added my other programs because I can't just sit down and do Jamaican shows when everybody else want me to do shows. So I should just avoid my shows to come and do Cranky show. When Nigeria want me to do the show, Suriname want me to do the show. No, man, you have to go there, Cranky, and make the name, you know. So I am just busy. So just make the day, and I will be available, Cranky. Just behave normal, man. Behave normal. You're the normal one. I am the normal one.
I will say this though. It would not surprise me if after the first round in this matchup, it wouldn't. I mean, I say it wouldn't surprise me if I saw this. If I woke up the next day and I saw the result was 2-0 Jamaica, I would tell myself, yeah, the U.S. wasn't interested. But then I could see Jamaica losing this. What's it called? Losing this tie like 5-2 over 2 legs, but then they win 2-0 in the office, and then they go back to St. Louis and it's 3-0 in 30 minutes. Because I could see that happening. But I think it comes down to who comes in, who doesn't. This is way too early to really say how we feel about it. We're saying it after the matchups are here. Based off how we've seen these teams play, I don't really trust either of them, to be honest, because one kind of looks sleepwalking. One looks like they refuse to want to play. And I think that's more on the coach. That's USA and Jamaica. So it's a toss-up to me. And we'll have to wait and see how teams are. I'm going to look to see who is healthy, who's coming in. I don't expect Leon Bailey to be here for that window. I'm just not expecting to see him for the rest of the year. That's just that. So I think it'll be interesting. It'll be an interesting matchup. If it was Umzo, if this was a one game matchup, sure, I could take that. But it's a 2-game matchup with travel. And
people, let we have a good reasoning here. Have you ever heard more stories about a different, like in the foot? Because this is foreign to me, Africans. It's like every time, because we know somebody else is better than us, we always come with some stories. Goliath David defeated Goliath. The stone.
it was one out of
Iceland
5
beat
stones.
England. Iceland beat England. So why we can't beat the United States, brother? Why you can't just we always start conversation that we're a big team, but yet still always go down to this. Iceland beat England. No, Iceland never said they're a big team. We said that we're a big team. So why we can't just approach it and tell me that Maggie is going to destroy Luca De La Torre? You understand me? Just tell me something to make me feel confident. I want that confidence, but I have not heard you guys. You are the ones not giving me the confidence. Please give it to me.
If you're looking for confidence,
yes, give it to me. Yeah, not you Africans.
I'm not giving you confidence.
Please, you guys give it to me. Tell me what I need to expect. Tell me how we're going to win the midfield. Because you guys said I'm negative and all of it, but I can't hear from one of you, blood. You guys are the ones not giving me nothing at all. You tell me about David slew with Goliath. I don't want to hear about that. I don't want to hear about other people's success to make you feel good. You were not there. I want to see you tell me what you have done and what you are going to do so I can record it. Am I wrong? Am I wrong, Africans? Am I wrong?
Well,
why should I be out here talking about what Iceland did? And this brother, you're not Iceland. You are Jamaica. You have a standard. You are. Okay, all right, go ahead. What? Tell him, African, that I'm wrong. JD, I think the players have the funds as a burden on them shoulder to carry. Okay. So now it's a burden on their shoulder to carry, which, oh my God. So what about Jamaica being the 6th rated team? Let's all donate some aid to the host. I have not said anything bad. I ask you guys for some hope. I am open tonight for some positivity. I've been asking for the whole show about some positivity. Am I lying, Africans? I've said I'm gonna give some
You
positives, and they diss me
you
up
gave
and said
positive.
I should not talk about any positives. Oh my
I
God.
I it's tough out here for a Belgian, Jamaican, Nigerian,
Oh
Surinamese, Haitian, um,
my
reggae
God.
girls, reggae
You,
boys,
you are so bad.
Castleton, Man City fan. You know, it's tough out here for these in these streets. It's tough.
You're you are so bad. You're not making it better. I just gave you the hope Iceland beat England, and you
Mhm.
went to David into no.
Listen.
All
Where's
right, all
Pastor
right,
for
people,
Friday
people. I
night
don't
Bible
like
study?
people.
Where's
I
Pastor
don't
for
like to go
Friday
in
night
my
Bible
phone.
study?
People, I don't like to go in my phone and read out people's message. But listen to Jamaican fans now. This is Jamaican fans. Let me read this one. I am not gonna call any name. I'm just gonna say something. Ah, hear this now. Is it true that we're facing United States? I said, yes, bossy. I told it 3 days ago. You know? Look like we never hear you. Thanks. No problem. Why we always play United States? What kind of conspiracy is this?
Oh yes.
Africans, everybody know that everybody- we, we had this scene in them for 3 months, 3 months. But
It's always a
United States
conspiracy.
are a conspiracy against Jamaica. Nothing no go say, a lie that But this is the belief we have to have in our head now. All right. JD, we need some holy water and some prayers.
Well, we're trying to have Bible study. I thought we were on the way to that. We were talking about David and Goliath. Okay, so let's. Where's Pastor? He can lead out. You know, the day is dying in the west. We're good.
I should read out that message. That's why I can't take these people serious, because they're on the internet fighting me every day, and this is what they're texting me personally. So okay, all we need is JD to stop burn. I had just read the message. It was not me, and that is not pasta. It was not pasta, and it's not Africans. It's one of our or top general of the reggae boys fans. All right, one of our top generals, and sorry, Africans, we need to carry on the
It's
show.
okay.
A decent, but that one is something else. I had to be looking at my phone and say, "Oh my God, I can't believe what I'm hearing here." So, Africans, why CONCACAF doing this to Jamaica? Why we keep on getting USA? Huh? Just answer Africans. United States was not in third
It's-
for almost 2 months.
well, look, according to CONCACAF rules, USA is the third ranked
I
team,
mean,
and Jamaica is the sixth. And as a result, they play each other due to CONCACAF rules. Um, that I don't make these rules. I just watch them. But hey, have faith. Know that there's always a chance to use other Jamaican isms that I've heard. The ball is round. Football is played on the pitch, and hmm,
oh God.
Damian Lowe's a CDM. I think that's everything. But I I all dying because my throat is gone. But I think for me there is validity in the thought process of I think remember how we had that conversation about the USA women at the World Cup, and I said this is going to be a window where they can be got. I'm not saying that I think I think if there is a window to get the US men, it's this. It has to be now because you have a new
Agreed,
coach.
agreed.
They have a lot of injuries. They're not going to be fully fit. If there is a time to get them, it has to be November because I don't once they get, I think they'll eventually get under what Poch is doing. But right now, this early with this system, I think if you're going to get them, you have to get them now. And so I think if you're
Agreed, agreed.
Jamaica, if that means if that's what expedited getting Hayden and Holgate, good, good. But I think it has you if you are Jamaica, you have to look at the US as a wounded animal and say we need to take them and don't corner them, put them out of their misery and just beat them. Because the longer they let them hang around, talent will always prevail on the pitch, whether it's fair or not. So if I'm
Um,
Jamaica, you look at US, you have to do it now.
Two questions I'm going to read before the game. Arden says, why you don't max Suriname when they are going to play like how you mark Jamaica? Arden, what have I just said? I've read something that someone sent to me, and it was so funny because I'm saying why we act like we are big bull and doppel conqueror every single time, but every single time when we see the doppel conquerors them in front of us in Jamaican terms, we start making up all sorts of fantasy. I am asking a question because I'm puzzled just the same. I heard Suriname, Charlotte Rebecca saying that they're not taking any team lightly. They are preparing for them. And they are not just here to make up numbers. They are here to do damage. That's what they have said. So at least they have made a clear path. I heard Sean B said that Canada is the favorites. But I don't hear nobody say that United States is the favorites. We hear that we're going to turn them over, and I can't hear, oh, we're going to turn them over. And then all I'm hearing is excuses, excuses. So I'm just questioning it. So if I can't question nothing, well, RDN, that means I should not speak on Jamaica, and you should take my place. You know? Yes. Before the game, saying that the 4-2-3-1 against the three, was it the 3-4-3? The 4-3, the 3-4-3. You think that JA can exploit the opportunities, but we just saw the three midfield, because it was five across, but it was still three midfield. Really did us bad with the double tens. Trying to play one deeper as a 8 and one as a 10. So I don't know if he figured out everything as yet. So I have to wait and see what we get from whoever he selects. Because if we're going to put Aiden in, he's going to be a new addition. So obviously he does not know the system instant African. So we don't know what to expect from him in that system on the first day. You get me? And then now the next person have to play the 10 as well. And then now we don't know who's going to play the forward line at the same time. Because remember, we're going to miss Mikel Antonio. You get me? So we don't know who's going to play the striker. We don't know who's going to play the right midfielder. And we don't know who's going to play the 8. So even though we're looking at a formation and how we work in the formation, we still have at least a lot of questions to ask because we don't even know the players that will be playing. So Africans complaining about injuries for United States, we know that they have a deep pool. We don't know the players them that will be there, none at all. We are looking to say, oh, which we can put in that will be so effective to replace Mikel Antonio, to replace Liam Bailey, to make the defensive central or the 8. You understand me? So those are the things that we are looking at this point. So it's I can't. That's why I'm laughing, because I'm still trying to figure out what I want. I can tell people to give them the confidence. That's why I'm asking for it. But I think most of these guys just don't pick up what happened, you know?
And with the US, like they're playing a back four, but then they're tucking in one fullback into that back three effectively, pushing in. I think that suited the players that they had. I do wonder what that looks like when they're fully healthy. Because are you going to ask Dest, for example, to be a? Because the problem with the U.S. is their fullbacks are two fullbacks who like to move forward. Now that's partly Berhalter's system, but then that's also who they are as players. So are you going to ask if you're going to ask the U.S. to play a back three with one of your fullbacks, and can either be either Jedi Robinson or Serginho Dest fully fit? Oh, give me the side with Dest, please. That's not even a conversation. But then that means you need solid wing play that isn't just a straight line sprint. You need solid wing play that can do something. And that's where, again, it comes down to if you're expecting those players to be available, can you get some healthy and informed wingers who can punish a fullback trying to play as a center back? Right? A good example of that is look at the friendly Canada played against Uruguay before the World Cup. Uruguay look at the back three of Canada and they said, Alistair Johnston, Darwin, make yourself acquainted with him. And that was 2 goals quick. And then for the rest of the game, Uruguay just sat back and they defended. If they're gonna play that type of a game, I think that suits Scally a little bit better. But if they're gonna do that with their full squad, I would relish the opportunity. If you are a Damari Gray, if you are a Leon Bailey, if you are there, right?
Yeah, Joe Scally, I don't rate him highly. I don't rate him highly. Yeah, I agree with you.
He's a solid stay at home, and I think that fits him better. But if you're going to do that with others, and that's where it's a conversation of can you get enough? If Gray can give you enough moments there, then oh please, I will take that matchup.
The last time Cephas had a good game against him, but Cephas proving to me that he's very much limited. Very much limited. If he can't bully his way past you, he just doesn't have anything else. So I agree with you. Gray would have to be the man to pass him over and over because Gray have way more tricks in his book. The sad thing is I think he's a little bit overweight. He doesn't look like the normal Gray that we expected from the last time. So we're still that's it is tough, because Gray has the ability to get past him and create damages. But he just doesn't look him normal self. He's still putting in solid performances, but you could see that football looked easy for him in CONCACAF when he just came. But now it looks like he's just in a different phase. To be honest, that's what I'm seeing from Gray.
Yeah, I think the league where he's playing is not helping his form, but that's just me. Also, injuries don't help when you're a player like him. He's falling into that Weston McKennie school of I'm great when I'm playing, but when I'm not, I look like I'm not playing. Or for basketball folks, he's looking like a later career Sean Kemp. Yeah, I know you got that. I know you got that one.
Yeah. He looks big, man. He looks big. Believe me, he looks big.
And but that's the thing. Like looking at the system, if they're going to push their fullbacks up like that in your Jamaica, you need to say we need wingers who are going to punish that, because either you get one of their nines and put them on that side and say you're not stopping this, or you get informed Gray. You get a form of Gray, and then you send that over, or you pray Bailey is available, or you hope that logistical and clerical issues are solved, and then your savior shows up, and then you have something there. But I think that is something that could be looked at and really moved in terms of if that's what you're looking to do, to kind of take advantage of that. Other than that, midfield is a question mark up in the air. The back line, I think, can be solid enough, but you're asking your back line now to defend again. And if you're asking them to defend against Nicaragua and Honduras, I don't expect them to change their ways and say, okay, we're gonna play the full pitch. If you've done it against them, you're gonna do it against them too. So, are you really going to look forward to countering and winning? Maybe they can, but I don't want Ordain keeps asking the same question. What happened last time? And this is
the last time United States beat Jamaica. That's what happened the last time, Ordain. But your ego is too big. Simple as that. You're a part of the problem. Your ego is too big.
But even if you look at it, even if you look at that game, right? That game was Jamaica scoring early and then defending for your lives. That's not going to be sustainable against a team that's just going to come after you with
I don't
waves
know.
after wave after wave.
That's why I said Arden's ego is beating him, because there's no way you watch that game and you're out here bragging what happened the last time. We lose the last time. That's what happened. It didn't wasn't that the thing that happened? Who was the champion? Who was the champion of this competition last time?
It
I
was
don't
America,
know.
I guess.
I think it was the same team. So brother, I've given Jamaica enough credit. I don't know how much more you want to stroke your ego, but it ain't working with me. You know, like, I am just not that character. I'm very sorry. You can't get it from me. I don't have it in me. All right, yeah, man. Ravel scored today. Nice, nice, lovely, lovely. Keep them pushing, Ravel. You know.
No, it's good. We run 2 hours easy.
Yes,
So
man. Yes, man.
well,
It was a fun one, aside from
yeah,
some people in the chat, but I always expect to get some people that
yeah,
just want to fight with me. I always
yeah.
have to get cranky with his over the top ego, telling me that it's an opportunity for me to turn up, the
Listen,
disrespect after I'm
it,
trying to before the game, I'm trying to work with the man, but the man ego is so I,
it,
I,
in your defense, Billy, JD did 90,000 shows a day. Billy does 3 a week. So I think we could figure that out. But it's been a good one, guys. Honestly, appreciated the joy, appreciated the vibes and everything.
Man told me that I'm not the man of the yard, and also that the amount of Africans, the amount of disrespect I've gotten in this one, I can't believe it.
well, it's been a week of disrespect for you. So
Oh my
it's tough out there in these streets. It's
tough out
tough.
in the streets, Please,
Tough.
Suriname, give me a good game. Um, what else I need to ask for? Oh,
I don't know.
I don't know.
Canada's women are playing Spain. Good luck, ladies. Um, the reggae girls are playing France and South Africa. Um, don't get beat in the transition, and France plays one half every game. So be ready in the second half because
Yeah,
that's
man.
what you
Yeah,
get
man.
with France. Um,
You know what, Ardian, I'm gonna give you a strong week, of the internet. I'm just gonna leave you alone for a while and see if you guys are gonna miss me. Because once I'm not here, you guys torment my phone, all right? Because you have Cranky, you have Jason, American, Jamaican, Juguna, and you have everybody, but yet still you guys bad me up. But no Bunny again? Yes, no Bunny. Yeah.
nope,
Bunny.
still
They say
working on her
Bunny's busy working
passport.
on our papers. Bunny,
Yes,
just do like JD, Uh-huh.
really, not have
Do like
papers. Show
JD,
up once
just
every three
have
weeks.
a Belgian passport or an English passport. You can go to Jamaica, you can go to England, and you can go to France, blood. So just do it and you will be okay. I can just go anywhere. They never gave me my Jamaican passport, and I don't really care anymore. I told them to take my money. Once I got the other passport, I said, take my money. Because I can go to Jamaica just the same. Jason,
J-
Jamaican
American.
Guna.
I am dead. I am
Yes,
dead.
so
Oh,
Bonnie,
yeah,
please stop this foolishness. Stop holding on to a Jamaica passport alone. Just have a UK passport. Because you're a big star over there. They will give you a UK passport and you can go into Jamaica just the same, Yes. All right, Billy, you behaving like cranky, like cranky, like chutney. Yes, yes, yes. I have before the game. I can't turn up at Cranky's channel anymore than what I've done. I went there 5 times in 2 weeks, and he can't just do like normal people. Let me make a proper show together, plan it out, and tell me to turn up this day. He needs to come on African show. You need to come over here. Cranky, you don't own me. You don't own me. All right? Yes. You're too disrespectful,
we're vibing this out at
Oh,
this point, guys.
yes,
Thank you for
Africans.
stopping.
Africans want to close the show, but they're Omza
Oh,
said, you're taking a week off? Wife told you so? No, I'm just trying to avoid you because my wife was cussing you out the other day, Omza, because she think you're a crosses, because they
this feels like
disrespected her, Yes, yeah,
This
yes. She think
feels like a
in
WeMax IMAX conversation.
no, 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 no. You know, because he's out
Um,
here after my wife cook a nice meal. You know, he's out here disrespecting me, saying that where I bought that food. You know, he's a nasty French person. You know, I thought French people was nice, but he's a nasty French person. You know, yes, nasty, nasty French person. Yes, Africans, they can finish the show. I'm very sorry, people.
yeah, we'll be off. For those of you waiting to rain on my Ghanaian parade, that day will come. But don't miss it. Like Ghana missed all their chances against Sudan and Angola and Niger, so you'll see that one coming up at some point, and we'll talk. I will not really rant because you can't miss that many chances and not be something. And from there, we'll keep going.
Why I'm
Yeah,
sending people all over the world? What Jason talking about? Africans? What is he
I have
talking
no idea.
about?
I don't.
Omzo is a Frenchman. You are American. Bonnie need to get some passport. What did I say wrong? Why?
I,
Why?
I
Why
feel
would I
like the
talk the
longer the
truth,
stream goes,
Africans?
we're gonna no. The longer the stream goes, we're gonna find ourselves in the thing.
No, I'm
I'm
trying to
hitting.
figure out
I'm
what
hitting the
did I
outro,
say wrong.
guys. Thank you
Let
for
me let,
stopping by. We
don't,
appreciate it.
let me try to figure out what Jason talking about now because
We
he's in his feeling like Drake, but
hovering over
he's
it.
I
No,
don't
won't
know.
bring him. Leave Aubrey out of this. Aubrey's had a rough year. Okay.
You're Belgian or Jamaica. I am a Belgian blood. I am okay, Jason. At least I can say it. You should say it. And I was only talking about Bonisha to fix her problem. So why you end up in the African finish the show? I don't know what is wrong with that brother named
I've
Jason
been
Guna Blood.
hovering over the outros this whole time, and you want to
But
you're
Africans,
just that
they
person.
never even gave Africans. They never even gave a true prediction. You just tell us all
For
sorts of
who? For
stories
what?
and scenarios
For
for
what?
America, like your early prediction. Oh, you look at it. Yeah,
5-2, 5-2 over two legs.
five
There.
two over
Okay.
two legs. To who?
Yes.
To who?
U.S.
Okay,
U.S.
okay. So why? Okay, then I had to ask you why you never just say it to the chest.
I said it. My chest is
Okay.
always present. I said it. Chest
All
didn't
right.
go
So 5
anywhere.
2. All right. All right, people. All right, that's a good one. Thanks, all of you lovely people, for listening us rambling for a while. You're rambling for a while. JC never said 5-2 for Suriname. JC, you're just pandering to people. You had said 3-0 to Canada. You get me? So don't give Suriname 2 goals now. You get me? Just to act like you were saying Suriname will get any goals. Blood, we heard you. You don't have the throw it in
Oh,
now because you're looking. I don't know what you're looking. I don't even know what you're looking. I don't even
where's
know
this?
what's wrong with
Where's this
Jason at
bass
this
coming
point.
from? JD,
Just
your bass all getting picked up here. So, and is this JD? Is this Billy? Is this Billy D? Billy T? New name? JBDT? I don't know.
Africans, Jason spazzing out like Drake. I don't know what is wrong with the man. Just because we call him an American, him just
Why are we
lose
always
it.
bringing up Drake? Like we have
No,
mentioned this
because it's
multiple
only
times. This is
Drake.
a safe
It's
space.
only Drake lose it like Jason because I just said the man is American. I am a Belgian. And Bonnie need to go somewhere. This man is a Frenchman. And Jason just lost it.
The content
All
is
right,
recorded,
so
so
people,
everything
I
is
am very
televised.
sorry. Leave Jason alone. All right, I'm not. People, I promise you, over the next month, I am not troubling Jason. I am. Every time he comments, I am not paying his comment anymore. Any mention. I'm not talking to him. I'm leaving him alone. All right, because he thinks that I'm disrespecting him because I said he's American. And yes, I am done. I leave him alone. Good night, Mr. J. Saguna and Umzo and every one of the lovely people. I am on the Africans platform. Make sure you can turn it back next week. No, not next week. When is the Ghana one? Tomorrow?
The Ghana one is either tomorrow or Sunday, one of the two.
Tomorrow. No, but remember Nigeria playing,
Tomorrow? Then we do Sunday.
Yes, Nigeria playing 10 o'clock. So 10 o'clock, so I think it can finish 12 o'clock. We need to figure a way out to drop it,
All right. Yeah, I'll jump on and with have Nigerian shellings to me because Ghana can't score goals. This is great. Thank you for being here, Jason. I've appreciated you always. Um, I have appreciated you always. And yeah, from there we'll go. I will not be releasing a apology letter like Kudus Muhammad did. I'll just miss the mark on that too. So we'll call it a night, guys. Thanks for stopping by. Let us know in the comments when you're done. Who do you have winning each matchup? Way too early. Don't worry. We can come back and see who was right and who was wrong. You always do. And we'll do one like this closer to the matchup so we can see with rosters how we feel, where everyone is. But until next time, guys, this was whatever his name is, Billy, JD, Michael, Tromaine, Bromaine,
Romain Newman, yes, we know that you bet us. I know. You bet. You're gonna get your money if you win. All right, please. Oh my God, I don't even know what the bet is, Africans. You remember what the bet is? I don't know, but he bets me, so I guess he wants his money.
We are the worst. We are the worst at saying goodbye because we've been saying goodbye for the last 11 minutes and we have just not left.
You always.
Yeah, I have the power. Fine. I have the power. Fine. I'm gonna hit the button now. Okay. I have the power.